Recently, Pokemon Black and White 2 were released, and I have a story about these games to tell you. At first, I wasn't sure about telling anyone of this because, well, no one would believe me anyway. But for those of you who want to listen, this is the story. I didn't hear about these games until 2 weeks before the release. That meant I didn't have to wait that long before they would be released, so that's great. But before playing Pokemon Black and White 2, I wanted to play the original Pokemon Black and White. Back when Pokemon Black and White got released, I just downloaded Pokemon Black and played it on my flashcard. The problem is my flashcard doesn't work anymore these days. But I'm lucky and I could borrow a Pokemon White game from one of my friends. Everything seemed to be okay. When I started the game, Juniper was, like all Pokemon professors ever, telling me about the world of Pokemon. Like I didn't know. And after telling me your name and gender, the game started. I picked Tepig and I battled Charon and I battled Bianca, and things were just as boring as always when you start a new game. But when I first battled Anne, the normal dialogue didn't appear, and I thought the game had frozen. But then I realized I could walk. Maybe a bug or something, so I wanted to continue the game, but at the moment I wanted to leave the city, a text box appeared. I can't leave him there. That's strange. I didn't remember this being in the original Pokemon Black game, so maybe Pokemon White was a bit different. I should have known better. I walked back to Anne and talked to him. My Pokemon, they are hurt. An option popped up. Give him a potion? Yes or no? Without thinking about the answer, I answered yes. You don't have any potions. I was surprised. I was sure I had a potion in my bag and I didn't use it in the battle with Anne. Anne ran to the Pokemon Center. He didn't walk, he ran to the Pokemon Center. Like his Pokemon were a terrible danger. I didn't think anything of it at first. After all these years, Game Freak actually made 2 different games. I liked it. Everything else in the game just seemed to be the same though, so I started to wonder, if they choose to change something like that, why didn't they change other things in the game? Anyway, the next thing that caught my attention was during the second battle with Anne. His sprite wasn't the normal one of him pretending to be cool and so, but he turned his back to me. I don't want you to hurt my Pokemon again. Go away! After that, the screen turned black. My DS completely ran out of power, so I recharged the battery and a couple of hours later I tried to continue playing. From there the game was the same and normal again, which makes things even more weird. I mean, why would a game be different in the beginning and only for one specific character, only to continue normally? I collected all 8 badges, I defeated the Elite Four, and I entered the castle, where things started to get weird again. When I walked into Anne's room, the normal music started playing, but I couldn't control my character. He just walked towards a basket with a train in it, then looked around him at the rest of the room. I was starting to think that this was just a ROM hack that was just not finished and sold as a normal Pokemon White game online. Then Anne walked in. He didn't move, he didn't say anything, he just stood there and looked at my character. After about 2 or 3 minutes, he finally said something. ... He walked towards my character and said, "It's sad, isn't it? That's all." After this, he left the room and I was able to move again. I picked up the rare candy, the thing I walked in for in the first place, and I walked to the place where you would normally fight Anne. Something in me said I wasn't going to battle him there. When I got there, I battled Anne and Ghetsis just like normal, but after battling Ghetsis, he turned to Anne and said, "Kill him!" Anne walked a step back. What? Ghetsis walked towards Anne and said, "Anne, he killed one of your Pokemon. Don't you want revenge?" I didn't push the A button to read more. I killed one of Anne's Pokemon in that first battle, and my character just refused to help him. I picked up my DS to continue. "Anne, this is not a game." Anne walked towards me. "Not a game." He turned back to Ghetsis and said, ... Then Ghetsis' sprite became grey and faded away. The screen turned to black and I was in my room. The rest of the game was just normal and I wanted to forget everything that happened. I was sure that not a game wasn't just some ROM hacker breaking the fourth wall. You can imagine that after playing this Pokemon White game, I wasn't really that excited for Pokemon White 2. However, I bought the game. I didn't want another ROM hack. and I started playing it. Everyone was normal and I liked the game until... Yeah, you can guess where things started to get weird again. When I visited Anne's castle, I walked in and Anne said, "It's been a long time." I didn't know that wasn't supposed to happen, maybe an Easter egg or something like that. I walked into Anne's room where the music started playing. Just like the first time, Anne walked in and said, "I'll never forgive you." I realized this wasn't some kind of Easter egg. He was talking about his dead Pokemon. Slowly the music changed into the Lavender Town music. At first I didn't even notice. "You'll pay for what you have done." He wasn't talking to my character. He was talking to me. This wasn't a hacked game. This was not an Easter egg. This was something worse. I turned off my DS, looked up in the reflection of my PC monitor. I always play games sitting in front of my PC. I really don't know why. I saw a face. I turned around to see who's standing behind me. Of course, I couldn't see anyone. I closed my eyes and tried to remember who I saw. It was Anne, but not the normal Anne. He had red eyes and an evil grin on his face and wild hair. His eyes were bleeding. To this day, I still don't know what this is all supposed to mean, why it happened, what exactly happened, but I'm sure it's nothing good.